Hey guys, some stupid sketcher guy here with another episode of Prehistoric Figure Review. Now, I have changed my setup to a black and white setup. I think this is a huge improvement from the carpet, and comment down if you agree. But, no time for that. Today's figure review is on the Safari 2019 Prestosuchus. Now, when Safari announced this figure, it was definitely the figure I was most anticipating, and the first Safari 2019 figure I got, and the only one I have. Now for some quick paleo facts on Prestosuchus. Prestosuchus is a pseudosuchian from the Triassic period and is a very close relative to Saurosuchus and Prestosuchus. As well as that, we have a prehistoric question about Prestosuchus. What color scheme does Prestosuchus share with another Safari Limited figure? Is it A, the Safari Limited Acrocanthosaurus, B, the Safari Limited Dilophosaurus, or C, the Safari Limited Archaeopteryx? Comment down what you think it is in the comment section below, or just say what your original guess was before I reveal the answer at the end of the review. Now, the first rating of 4 that I will be testing Prestosuchus in is the paint job. And I think the paint job has to be the strongest feature of this figure, as it has, in my opinion, the best paint job of any figure this year. Like, I really love the black and white. It's such a good mixture. And the brown, I really just love the mixtures of blacks, whites, and browns. Like, I really do like this nice mixture. They do contrast very well, and I can lovely see all of the really nice bright white parts, as well as the very nice dark black parts, and the brown that kind of balances it all out. I really think this color scheme looks really good, and I'm glad they did reuse it. So, I really do like the color scheme, but my only nitpick with it is how it ships so easily. I've had to repaint chipped scales on this figure for like a while now. I've only had this thing for 2 months and it's chipping paint. That's really annoying. But besides that, I really do like the paint scheme, and I give it a 9 out of 10. I really do love it. Next up is the pose. Now, most of the time, there isn't really that much of a pose to speak of, and this is kind of no different. Like, except for the fact that it's kind of pointing sideways in its kind of position, it kind of looks like it's just scouring around for food. It's pretty interesting. Like, I do like these kind of straight poses with a cocked head. I think it looks pretty well. And I think it just looks decent. It isn't like the most exceptional thing out there, but it looks decent. As well as that, a small nitpick is that I don't like how the tail just sags downward. It almost looks like it's trying to touch the ground, and that's just a small nitpick. But besides that, the pose is just okay. It's a decent pose, and for that I give it a 7 out of 10. The third category is accuracy. Now, accuracy is not a strong suit of this figure, as although most of the body looks, okay, I mean, most of the body looks pretty good. I like to think that it does look pretty nice and generally accurate. The real flaw is the head. Oh boy, does the head not look correct. Now, a real Prestosuchus skull would not look like this. This head is way too blocky for me. And that's just like the major inaccuracy with this thing, is just how blocky the head is. Although the rest of the body looks alright, the blocky head is the thing that most people will see, because the head is the most identifiable part of this thing, or any figure for that matter, so I'm really gonna hold it back if the head is the inaccurate part. So that is kind of just a huge problem I have with it, but besides that, the rest of the body looks pretty good. But overall, I give the scientific accuracy a 6.5 out of 10. And the last category is detail. Now, I think this is something that Safari Limited has gotten really, really good at, because every part of this body is covered head to toe with scales. All over the body is nothing but scales. There isn't a non-scaly part of this figure on it, except for the cloaca, but that's a nice, sexy touch. But, it is, overall, just covered in scales all over. And also, as a small little addition, it also has pretty cool osteoderms. They're very skinny, but they do run down the back. And I think it's a pretty cool touch. it probably isn't the most accurate to have just a skinny patch of osteoderms and the rest of this thing be scaled, but I also like how Safari Limited included different types of scales. There's the really small square ones, and then there's the much bigger square ones on the tail. This thing is completely covered in scales, and there's just not a dull moment on the figure when it comes to detail. I think it looks great. And for that, I give the detail an 8 out of 10. Now for my overall thoughts. I think the paint job is really good, but chips way too easily. The pose is great, but nothing special. The accuracy on this figure is a mixed bag, especially on the head, and the detailing is absolutely amazing in my opinion. So overall, I give this figure a 7 3/4 out of 10. But now it's time for the prehistoric question. Now, the question was, what color scheme does Prestosuchus share from another Safari Limited figure? Was it the Safari Limited Acrocanthosaurus, Safari Limited Dilophosaurus, or Safari Limited Archaeopteryx? If you guessed A, the Safari Limited Acrocanthosaurus, you are correct. Both figures are black, brown, and white all over. I hope you enjoyed this review and the new setup. I like to think that this should be the reoccurring setup. Comment down if you think that I should try and get another setup, and see you guys next time. Bye!